Hello, hello, and welcome back everybody to Crisp ASMR. I hope you're doing well wherever you are right now. I know some of you may have started following me for Sudoku content. If so, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Especially as you can see, I do like trying out a variety of different content. So this video is for you. We are going to do another expert killer Sudoku with the cages and no given digits, just the fact that all the numbers must sum to the top left cage corner number. Please sit back and relax, and without further ado, let's solve this killer Sudoku together. Okay, so the thing with the web version is it does have some numbers that are given to us. Like this 2 has one number, so that's obviously a 2, and this is obviously a 4, so already we are making progress. And this is an 8. Okay, and since this is a 5, that means we know this, and since this is a 5, we do like really small numbers because there's only so many things that can sum up to that number. We know that the only possibility to make a 5 is 1, 4, and 2, 3. Because remember, the numbers in the cages cannot repeat. So we know that this must be a 1, 3 or a 2, 4 pair. But we don't know which one yet. However, we do know what's in this 6 because 6 is also a very small number. And it can only be made up of, very good, 5, 1, 4, 2. But the 2 is already taken, so we know that this must be a 1 and a 5. And now we know the 1 is somewhere here. And that 1, and if the 1 is somewhere in this row, we also know that this needs to add up to 12. Can 1 add up to anything to make 12? That's only 11. But obviously the digits only go up to 9. So that means 1 cannot be in this cage. 13 is even bigger than 12, so by that logic, we know that it cannot be here. Now this is trickier. The 1 we now know that the 1 is somewhere here in this row, and that the 1, therefore, by the rules of Sudoku, the 1 is somewhere here. We don't know where yet, but somewhere here. But we also know, look, we see this 19 cage. If the 1 was in this cage, that means we need to create 18. But the only way we can create 18 with numbers, with digits present here, is 9 and 9. And digits cannot repeat, so that means the 1 is not able to live in the 19 cage. And that leaves 1 here. Very nice. Okay, we don't know where the 2 is yet, but we've solved the 1 and the 4, meaning the 4 is somewhere in this row. Okay, now, aside from very small numbers, we also like really big numbers. For instance, 17. Conveniently, there's only one combination that can make 17. Do you know what that is? Very good. That's 9 and 8. Okay, because 7 needs a 10. We can't do that. So we know that the 8 and 9 are somewhere here. 4, I always so happy whenever I see a 3 or a 4, because this also only has one possibility. Very good. 1 and 3. And with that, we've already solved 4 digits in this square. Hooray! Now, there's a secret trick to Killer Sudoku that's really important. Some of you, if you've seen the previous video, you can probably guess what I'm about to say, and that is the summing to 45 rule. Now, because the rules of Sudoku are that the digits 1 to 9 exist in every square and in every row, we know that every square or row must add up to a total of 45. And that means if we figure out what all of these add up to, we can subtract to make 45, and that will be the resulting number. Let me show you what that looks like. So we have 17. 17 plus 13, 30. 34. And now we have 46. Is that correct? My mental maths is sometimes lacking. Okay, let's go this way. 30, 42, 46. Okay, that means 46. This total is 46, but we need this to be 45. That means the remainder is 1. And this box, if I calculate it correctly, must be 1. There we go. And that means 1, 1. We know the 1 is somewhere in these two boxes. Since this, although 20 is a big number, there are 4 digits here, and that means it's possible. 1 could be in there because it could be 1, and then we need 3 numbers to make 19, which is very doable. 982, for instance. Or 973, yeah. So it's quite possible. We don't rule that out yet. Okay. Now, let's see what else we can do. Ooh, beautiful. So after solving that 1, that eliminates the 1 here, and that gives us 5 and 1. So we now have information about this 5. And if we know that the 1 is somewhere here, this cannot therefore be a 5 and a 1 pair, because the 1 has to be here. Instead, the only other available option is 4 and 2. And suddenly we know 2 is meant to be here. Ooh, but this big number, 20, helps us because it's only 3 digits. Is it possible for a 2 to be in the 20s cage? Well, it would have to be with an 18, and we can't make 18. So that means this is not a 2. We can delete that. Bye-bye. This, we need to add something to make, to the 2 to make 10. And that's an 8, the partner. Very good. Now let's look at the 7. We know 7 has a few combinations. Okay, I like to go like opposites. So 1, 6, 2, 5, and 3, 4. But we know in this row, there's 4 is already taken, so there's no 4, 3. The 2 is already taken, so there's no 2, 5. That means this must be 1 and 6, and this cannot be a 1, 7 pair. And that leaves, actually, that's pretty good for us, because this 8 can be made with 7, 1, 6, 2, and 5, 3. No 4, 4, because that would repeat. But we know 7, 1 is gone because of the 1 here. 6, 2 is gone because of the 6 and 2 being gone. So we know this must be 5, 3. But since this 5 is already here, we know this 5 is eliminated, and therefore this is a 3 and 5 pair. Very nice. Okay, and we're looking for now 8, 7, and 9. 7, 8, 9. I don't know why I said it like that. 7, 8, 9. Now, there's a 15 here. We need 2 of those numbers to make 15. Can you see which ones make 15? Very good. 7 and 8. The only other way to make 15 is 9 and 6. So that means this is definitely a 9. And if we're making 11, this is now a 2. Very good. Meaning the 2. And since, that's nice. So since we know the 2 is here, that rules out the 2 from here. And we know the 13 is made up of a 2 somewhere. We don't know where yet, but somewhere. Okay. Very good. Very good. Not 12. This could be 7. We need to make 11. That could be 9, 2, but it's not. Could be 8, 3, or 7, 4. We don't know yet. Okay. Now, since we've solved the 4 out here, we can do the same with the 45 summing with this box. So we have 2, 4, okay, 6, 7, 19, 32, 41, 51. So that leaves a 6 remainder outside. This all sums up to 51, meaning this must be a 6. Beautiful. And if that's a 6, that means we need to make 13 here. But we don't have 9, 4. Okay, we only have 9, 4. We only have 8, 5 or 7, 6. But aha, the 6 is already in the 19 cage. And since numbers can't repeat in a cage, we know that the 13 must be made of 8 and 5. Very nice. Does that tell us anything about these now? It does. Okay, because 12 is even number and digits can't repeat. So 6 and 6 cannot live in the 12. Instead, where must it live? Very good. The other 13, which is 6 and 7. So that means this 12 must be made of the last 2 digits, 9 and 3. And with that, we know what's in this box as well. Does this help us eliminate anything? Yes. 1 6 is here, so that means this has to be the 7, and this is the 6. Very good. And that means 7 is somewhere along here. It's helpful to just sometimes mark it. We also know the other 3 numbers, actually, since everything else is ruled out. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I sometimes need to count all the way through. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 6. Okay, that's where these numbers are. Nice. Okay. But let's start eliminating numbers. So if this was a 3, we'd have to make 17, which would be 9 and 8. But the 8's already gone, so we know this cannot be the 3. But it can be a 7 or a 6. If this was a 6, we have to make 14. 14, which would be 9, 5, or 8, 6, which is also not possible, actually. Not a 6. So actually, this has to be the 7. So we're making 13 here. And the way we can make 13 is 9, 4, 8, 5, 7, 6. Now it's not, it could be 9, 4. It can't be 8, 5 because of the 5 here, and it can't be 7, 6. So actually, this has to be 9, 4. But we have a 4 here already, so now we know that this is definitely a 9. Oh. Sorry, wrong box. Typo. Okay, and that 9 conveniently eliminated this 9, making this 3 and 9. Nice, nice. Okay. And we've done the 9s in this section. Let's see what else we can do. Ah, okay, another trick. Since we know a 1 exists in either of these, okay, it doesn't matter where it is. If the 1 was here, this would be a 1. If the 1 was here, this would be a 1. That means the 1 has to be in the top row. You can do that when the 1s or the same number takes up the same sections. So we know for a fact that the 1 has to be on the top. Let's start with, we can try and eliminate the 17 first. Okay, because 16 is also a really high number and there's only one possibility, I believe, which is 9 and 7. But that's still possible. So that's still possible. Yeah, so with that thing, I think this is called an X-wing. I'm not really sure. But you can't do the same with the 8s, for example, because they are not taking up the same rows, 2 rows. But here, they're taking up the same 2 rows, so you know that the 1 must be on the top. It's a little bit different. Ooh, but now we know that the 9 is here. We're making 11, right? What was it? 9, 2, 8, 3, 7, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that's so many. Okay, let's leave that. Let's see if there's any other 45s you can go around doing. Ah, okay. This one. I don't think there's any more boxes we can do 45 with, but there's some rows we could try it out with. And I'm looking at this bottom row over here, because only this one, now that we've solved the 6, we know that this is the only one without by itself without a cage, okay? Because we have the 20, we have 28, 30, 34, 40. So that means this has to add up to, needs to make the remainder to add up to 45. And since we're at 40, we know that this has to be the 5. And this is the 8. Great, and now we know that the 20 is comprised of a 1, 2, okay, 1, it could be a 3, oops, it could be 3, 3 is not here because of this number here. The 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, there's a 7 somewhere in here. 7. And there is a 9 somewhere in here. Okay, no 9 here because of that. So these two are 7, 9, in which case, actually, it's safe to eliminate this 7 and 9. And when we do that, this is left being 3 and 1. Oh. Oh, my bad. I forgot to add the 3. That was my mistake. I forgot to add the 3 in this, the 3 notation in this box, because it's actually possible. But this row does have an interesting relationship. And the 1 is also possible to be here, I think. Yeah, it's also possible for the 1 to be there, just not here. Okay. Yeah, it could be a 1, 1. Or a 1, 1. Actually, let's see if 1 in the 15 is possible. That would help eliminate where the 1 is, actually. So if this was a 1 in here, we would need to make 14. And we could do that with 9, 5. Or 8, 6. Okay, that's still possible. That is still possible. Okay. That's tricky. Let me think. But yeah, like this section does have an interesting relationship because as long as you figure out where one of them is, you know where the rest of them are. Which is really interesting. But we'll leave that for now, I think. Very good. Okay. Okay, so let's look at here. We know that this adds up to 10 and it's either a 6 or a 3. But if this was a 6, the partner of it to make a 10 has to be a 4. But the 4 is already taken in the 5 right here. So we know this can't be a 6, 4. And in that case, if we know this has to be either a 3 or a 6, in this case it must be a 3. And we need to add to 3 to make us 10, which is 7. And that leaves this to be the 6. Meaning, we now know that these two squares have to add up to 6, because 6 plus 6 is 12. But the 4 and the 2 are gone, so that means this 12 is made of 1 and 5. But the 1 is here, so we know for sure this is 5, and this is the 1. And that leaves just a few numbers left. The number 3. Okay, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. And 8's not here. And 9. 9. Ah, but I noticed, since we know the 8 is definitely in these two squares somewhere, this has actually, I think it's the X-wing, we've ruled out both of these rows being the 8 in this box. So we know the 8 has to live at the bottom of the right top corner. And that leaves 8 and 7. Yay. And now we know, what do we know? We know the 8 is here. And if the 8's here, obviously, oh yeah, if the 8's here, then we need to make 15. If the 8 and the 15, if the 8 and the 9 were both in the 15 cage, that's like blackjack. We would bust. We would go bust. So as a result, we can safely eliminate the 9, and we can put it right here. So we know this is 8, and this is 3. These add up to 11. Very good. And that means this must be the 4. And this is conveniently eliminated, the 4 and the 2 here, to be 4 in the 6. Okay, and now we know that the 4 is somewhere along the 12. Oh, we also have the 1 and the 3 cleared out for us. Beautiful. Okay, so 4 plus 1 is 5. If there's a 12 cage, that means we have a 7 in there. And now we know the 7 must be up here somewhere. Oh wait, sorry. I mean, the 7 must be up here somewhere. So this is adding up to 8, and 8 to make 17. 9. Very good. And now we have 8, and this is a 9. And oh, looks like this is a 1 and 6 pair that we have solved. And there's only one missing, so by Sudoku, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5. Meaning we need a 2, we need 6. We don't know where, but the 6 is in there. And then here we also can eliminate, so 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5 also has to be here. 5, 6, 5 and 6. Okay. Is that correct? Yep, 7, 8, 9. Okay, but let's look at this 11. Now, there's a 5 here, and that means if the 6 was here, this cannot be a 5. So that's not possible. We know for a fact that this is the 5, this is the 6, and this is the 6. Yay, I think we're like over halfway. Aww. But the fun is still happening. Don't worry. Now, the 6 is somewhere along the bottom row now due to Sudoku. But could the 6 live in the 7 cage? The 6's partner to make a 7 is a 1. Unfortunately, the 1 is already taken. So we know this is not a 6. Okay, the only other ways to make 7 are 6, 1, okay, 5, 2, and 4, 3. But we also have the 4 taken. So that means the 3 is not in here either. And we know that. That means we know this is a 5, 2 pair. Very good. And we're missing 1, 2, we're missing 3 from here. We are missing 3, 6, and 8. 3, 6 is obviously not here, so this is 3 or 8. Okay. I'm thinking if this was an 8, if this 14 had an 8 in it, we would need to make a 6 with the remaining 2 numbers. But we do that. We can't do 5, 1 because since the 5 is already here in this row, and that means it's impossible to make 5, 1 to make a 6 using 5, 1. The other option is 4, 2, but the 4 is also in this row, so that's not possible either. That means we have to eliminate the 8 from here, meaning actually that this must be a 3. Yes. And that means this is 8 and 6. We know that 8 is here, so this is the 6, this is the 8. That makes this a 6. And we know that this needs to make 11. I don't know what that means yet, but that's what it means for now. So we have 1, 2, 3. We need to put 4 in here somewhere. 4 is therefore somewhere in here. Okay, 4, 5, 6, 7. We need 8. Just somewhere here, but we also need 9. Oh, but by Sudoku, 9 leaves 9 in the center. Very good. And if we have 12, this must be 2 to make... Oh. Don't worry. This is a 2. It's just typos. And then that's eliminated the 7 and the 1 for us, as well as the 2 and the 6 from our notes. The notes are super helpful. Okay, so, by Sudoku, the 1s have also been eliminated. So there's a 1 in the center. 1 plus 9 is 10. We need to make 15. Very good. It's a 5. And that means this is either 7 or 3 as well because of this logic. But this remaining 2 numbers. But the 3 is already here. So this has to be the 7. This must be the 3. And since I said before, whatever one of these is will influence the other. Oh, I guess in this case, just the 3 eliminated the 1 here. There we go. And now this is 2 and 5. We're making 18. We have 6 and 4, so we also need to add the 8 somewhere. 8 is here. We already know that. Okay, the last stretch now. I hope you've been enjoying this. If you have, consider supporting me by subscribing and let me know what you think and if there's anything else you'd like to see. So the 7 is somewhere here. Okay, 1, 2, 3. We need a 3. And the 3 is either here or here. But the 3 can't be in the 9 because the 6 would have to be here, which is not possible. Also, the 3's already taken. What am I saying? So this is... Oh, no, I was right. 3 and 6. So this must be the 3. By Sudoku. That means this must be 7 and 2 then, right? Let's see. 8, 1, 7, 2, 6, 3, 5, 4. Yep, that must be... Cannot, because the 5 is already here. So 7 and 2. We have a pair of 4 and 9. Just the remaining 2 numbers. Ah, beautiful. That eliminates the 9 here, leaving this a 7 and a 9. And we have now the 4 and the 7 here. And now we know the 4 is not here, and the 4 must be here. And the remaining 2 numbers in here, we need to make 10. That could be 9. It's not 9, 1, not 7, 3, and it's not 6, 4. So it must be 8 and 2. But we know the 2 is here, so this is the 8, this is the 2. And by Sudoku, 1, 2, 3, this is 3. And by Sudoku, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 5. And now, what are the remaining numbers? Which one's which? How do I go about solving this? How do I know which one's which? I don't want to do it by trial and error. Oh, I completely didn't notice this 8 is already confirmed. And now we have this is 4, this is the 8, this is the 9, and finally this is the last 4. And with that, we have done our Killer Sudoku of the day. Thank you so much. In under 28 minutes. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. If you start playing some games, let me know. I'd love to hear about your experiences, and feel free to submit anything that you think would be fun to play together, and hope to see you next time. Stay well until then. Bye bye.